इतनी वंडरफुल पॉडकास्ट आप कौन से ऑर्गन से सुनते हो? ठीक है, कान। आज सुशी टॉक्स के पास ये प्रिविलेज है कि हमारे कान, नाक और थ्रोट इज मुंह, राइट? थ्रोट खोलने आई है डॉक्टर अर्चना सचार। सुशी टॉक्स विद डॉक्टर अर्चना। हेलो मैम।
हाय।
व्हाट्स अप? आप थैंक यू सो मच अपना टाइम निकालने के लिए ऑन सुशी टॉक्स, एंड जस्ट गिव अ ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन अबाउट योरसेल्फ टू द ऑडियंस।
Sure. So, hi guys, I'm Dr. Archana Sachar from Department of ENT, Kasturba Hospital, Manipal. I have done my undergrad from here as well. I'm a first year resident right now. I live in Hyderabad, but Manipal is like a home to me because it's been 7 years now, 5 undergrad plus 1, almost 1 now. So, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And Hyderabad में आप कहाँ से हो?
Hyderabad, near the old airport, Begumpet.
ओके, बेगम पेट। हाँ, वहाँ पेट वाले बहुत सारे वो है। मैम, मैं ना बहुत अमीर हूँ, ठीक है, एंड मैं ना प्लेन्स में ट्रैवल करता हूँ, एंड मैं जब भी प्लेन में ट्रैवल करता हूँ ना, मेरे को एक डाउट है, आप वहाँ से क्लियर कर दो कि ये कान बंद क्यों हो जाते हैं एंड एवरीथिंग, व्हाई डज दिस हैपन? एंड कभी कभी बहुत ज़्यादा पेन होने लग जाता है कान के अंदर, जस्ट फॉर माई फ्यूचर ट्रैवल्स।
No, I get that a lot. So basically, mostly during takeoff or while descending, you can have ear pain, blocked sensation in the ear, some muffled sounds, etc., etc. So basically what happens is that we have a middle ear. Inside our ear there's a compartment called middle ear, and there has to be pressure maintained in the middle ear and bahar ka atmospheric pressure. Both the pressures should be equal so that the eardrum vibrates properly for hearing. And there is a tube called the eustachian tube. वो एक tube होता है which connects the middle ear and the throat, and that helps to balance this pressure. But sometimes during rapid pressure changes like takeoff, landing, the eustachian tube doesn't get time to react. So that's why the pressure imbalance happens, and इसलिए you feel blocked sensation. And this is worse if you have some upper respiratory tract infection like cold, cough, or if you've had a drink on the flight, or if you were sleeping. Because some maneuvers like chewing or swallowing, yawning, if you do these things, it will help your eustachian tube open up, and then air will enter the middle ear and things will be fine.
Okay. So you have to like swallow or chew.
Like best is chewing gum. Try that. Like people ask me if cotton will help. That's not going to help. Putting cotton, nothing will happen. You can try yawning or things like that.
And like अब मैं बिजनेस क्लास ट्रैवल कर रहा था, एंड मेरे को उन्होंने ईयरफोन्स दिए एमिरेट्स वालों ने, ठीक है, एंड ईयरफोन्स के साथ भी एक इशू है भाई। मॉम डैड हमेशा ये बोलते थे कि ये ईयरफोन्स नहीं लगाने चाहिए, इट्स लाइक तुम्हारी हियरिंग में इश्यूज आने लग जाते हैं। सो इज इट एक्चुअली ट्रू कि, और इफ इट्स ट्रू, व्हाट इज अ सेफ रेंज ऑफ लाइक ऑडियो जो हम ले सकते हैं?
So that is true. Prolonged use of earphones or hearing music for like at a loud sound can cause damage to our nerve. उसका नाम है auditory nerve. That's the nerve responsible for hearing. So the nerve gets damaged and there is no reversing it. Okay. So that's why it's always better to take precaution. And also I think there is this which I tell everyone, a 60% 60-minute rule, which is advised. So it means that you should put the volume at 60% for 60 minutes. And it's better to use over the ear headphones rather than in the ear or earbuds.
Okay.
Because of course less irritation, less direct trauma, and
Okay. And ये जो deafness होती है, लाइक मैंने जो ENT में पढ़ा है, मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप उसको लाइक ऑडियंस को बता दो कि दो तरह की जो डेफनेस होती है हमारी, कंडक्टिव एंड सेंसरी हियरिंग लॉस, ये क्या होता है, इनमें फ़र्क क्या होता है?
Okay. So we start with sensory neural first. Sensory and neural. So this type of hearing loss is the one which is because of the nerve. So there is a nerve, the auditory nerve, which is responsible for hearing. So when this nerve gets damaged, there is sensory neural hearing loss, and you don't have surgeries for this. The most important thing, only hearing aids. And it's normal to have some amount of sensory neural hearing loss with age. That is actually called presbycusis. With age that happens. Or then we have this earphones की वजह से noise induced hearing loss. That is again the nerve getting damaged. So that's like a simpler thing to diagnose. The other one is conductive hearing loss. Conductive hearing loss basically means that the conduction pathway of the sound waves is getting hampered or damaged or broken in between. So we have a pathway. Basically, bahar se sound will come. It'll go through our canal, ear canal. Then we have a drum, the ear drum. That drum vibrates, and after the eardrum, we have 3 small bones. It's called hammer, anvil, stirrup, and after that you have the inner ear, and the inner ear is what then connects to the sensory part as well. So sometimes what happens is कि अंदर के 3 bones they get like their continuity is not maintained because of trauma, or the eardrum gets perforated. That's a very very common cause. In that case there will be discharge, those kind of things. So here surgery का role comes. You can operate, you can close the eardrum, and yeah, that one is the one which we approach more. Otherwise sensory neural is mostly because of lifestyle also. How have you been treating your ears? So yeah, and there is of course mixed both. So
mixed तो फिर बहुत बुरा है.
हाँ,
बेसिकली हियरिंग एड्स जो होता है, ठीक है, लाइक ये सिर्फ सेंसरी न्यूरल हियरिंग लॉस के लिए देनी चाहिए ना? ये नॉर्मली क्या कॉस्ट वॉस्ट होती है एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड कौन कौन से पेशेंट्स किस एज ग्रुप के बाद लाइक लगा सकते हैं?
so age is not a problem. It can even children use it. That's okay, but it's only used for ये वाला sensory neural hearing loss जहाँ nerve is involved, because we cannot operate, nothing can be done. In conductive there is no point, because बाहर से ही the conduction pathway is affected, तो nerve there's no point, because there might be discharge, there might be some infection there. So उसके ऊपर if you put hearing aid, that's also not right. And cost wise it depends on, it really depends. Nowadays we have so many models, it can go up very high also. There's artificial intelligence coming and everything, but it starts from around 15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
ठीक है.
And then depending upon how you want it, like just the ear plugged in ones or with the outside support, it varies and it can go very high also.
Okay. कानों के बारे में तो बहुत बात कर ली हमने, ठीक है, बट लाइक नोज, ठीक है. हाँ, मैं जब एक्सपेंसिव परफ्यूम्स लेता हूँ तब मेरी नोज ही है जो मेरा साथ देती है, ठीक है. एंड कुछ लोगों के साथ उनका नोज उनका साथ नहीं देती है. एक चीज होती है डेविएटेड नेजल सेप्टम. तो वो क्या होता है, एंड इज इट वेरी कॉमनली प्रेजेंट इन द पॉपुलेशन?
Okay, so septum is basically in the central part of the nose. Inside there is a partition which divides our nose into two nasal cavities, like the 2 nostrils. So it's very common. Many people have a deviated nasal septum, and minimal DNS is seen in everyone. It will never be straight.
Basically ये वाला जो एरिया है ये थोड़ा टेढ़ा हो जाता है अंदर से.
And almost सब में होता है. So how you get to know it and when is it a problem? That's what we have to deal with. So people might have obstruction in the nose, means nose blocked all the time. Because of blocked nose, the drainage is not happening well. तो इसलिए infections come up, sinusitis हो सकता है, recurrent upper respiratory tract infections, all these things. Also in the night when they are sleeping, that time they specifically experience nasal obstructions, snoring can start. So if those symptoms are there, usually that's what brings them to us. And then we do a septoplasty, we make it straight. Then also it's not always like gonna be perfectly straight, but as long as your symptoms subside, it's good.
Okay.
But I'm sure we both also have it.
हाँ, it's like book में लिखा था कि 60% of the population has it because during birth trauma, like सबसे ज़्यादा like nose
because face, yes.
हाँ, वो थोड़ा सा change हो जाता है. Okay, and why does snoring happen? Like snoring का mechanism क्या है? What is the physiology of snoring? Why do people snore? I get very irritated.
Do you? Usually it's the girlfriends who get irritated.
So I have had snoring girlfriends, but like
okay. Oops.
ठीक है, but अब वाली नहीं है, अब नहीं. Hopefully, पता नहीं मेरे को. हाँ, तो
it'll be fun.
Snoring का बताओ.
हाँ, तो snoring what basically it's not that a person is doing it voluntarily. It's about the anatomy. Anatomy means the way the throat and nose of the person is. So usually we say because of obesity, or if you drink in the night and then if you go to sleep, or if you have sedative medications, because of those things, it can happen. But usually what happens is that they have some specific features which cause this to happen. Like they'll have big tongue. So when you sleep, your tongue falls back, and because the tongue is already big, so there will be more obstruction. Then we have inside our throat, if you open your mouth, कुछ अंदर से लटकता हुआ दिखता है, that's called the uvula. So that will be long or big in these individuals. Basically anything in the upper airway which can cause obstruction, that results in snoring. Even if there's nose block, there will be snoring. Or the palate, if it's a high arched palate, like the hard palate on top, then also there could be snoring. Nose obstruction because of deviated nasal septum, all these things. So like there is no medicine or cure for this, but we always explain to the patients lifestyle modifications, like you can lose weight, don't drink before sleeping, and don't eat too late, because even that can cause problem. And try to sleep in lateral position. Lateral means turn to a side, सीधा नहीं सोना, because then your tongue and then is going back and there are more chances of obstruction. So it's better if you sleep on the side. That's what and you should not sleep on your chest, and don't put hand on the chest and sleep, things like that.
Okay. You were talking about nasal obstruction. So a lot of people use Otrivin and Nazivion खुद से ही administer करके. What is the problem with that?
So these are nasal decongestants. They help to helped in nose block basically. So we always recommend it to be used for 3 days, 5 days, maximum 7 days, not more than that, because what happens is when you use decongestants too much, so we have some small capillaries in our nose, so basically they get affected and it can cause further more nasal obstruction. So it's like a paradox. You're using it to cure, but it's getting worse. So that makes you use it even more. And that
vicious cycle.
And that never stops. So whenever we give prescriptions also for nasal decongestants, we always tell 3 days and stop, because that's actually a cause of nasal obstruction.
This is another rhinitis medicamentosa.
Rhinitis medicamentosa, yes.
Okay. So मैं फिर एयरपोर्ट से निकला, मैं ट्रैवल करके आया, ठीक है, and I saw a lady who fell, ठीक है, and गिर गई, उनकी नाक से खून आ रहा था, and as a doctor मुझे उस टाइम पे क्या करना चाहिए था? मैं तो बोला कि मैं डॉक्टर नहीं हूँ, ठीक
सेफ.
हाँ सेफ मैं तो ऑप्थैल हूँ. ऐसे नहीं हो सकते भाई, पर उनको डर लगता होगा कि अगर आप ऑप्थैल्मोलॉजिस्ट हो या आप लेट्स से साइकियाट्रिस्ट हो प्लेन में, एंड कुछ जैसे मेडिकल इमरजेंसी हो जाएगी, तो फिर तो आप. और
जब हम इंटर्न थे तब तो और भी मजा आता था.
मैं तो जाते ही नहीं था ना, मेरे को आइडिया नहीं था, ठीक है. बट अब जैसे इन केसेस ऑफ नोज ब्लीडिंग, ठीक है, व्हाट शुड द बायस्टैंडर डू? And what are the management steps that you as a clinician do?
Okay, so first of all, nasal bleeding is very common. Very, very common, and it happens mostly like on the road, on accidents, or like while playing. So it's important for the general population to to know what has to be done. First thing is that when your nose starts bleeding, don't pinch it. That's not going to help immediately. You try to try to lift your head up, or you can just take a handkerchief and put it on it. Don't press it too hard, because that can actually cause more trauma to what has happened inside. And once that has settled down a little bit, then what you're supposed to do is, with your thumb and your index finger, gently press the nose. Like there's a difference between pinching and pressing. Gently press the nose, bend forward over a sink, and breathe through your mouth. That's gonna help. And if there's any blood coming in the mouth, just swallow it or spit it out, no problem. That's to be done. Because basically blood under se is coming in your mouth. That's a good thing. And ice is the best. So you can always take ice and wrap it in a towel, because if you use it directly, that will cause more damage. Basically our idea is कि जो already अंदर damaged है या टूट गया है, don't maneuver it too much by yourself and aggravate it, because then you won't be able to manage it without a doctor. And then after that, once you feel that it has subsided a little bit, then you can remove the ice, obviously, because too much ice can cause frostbite. Nose is like a peripheral part, so that there can be frostbite. And then you should go to the doctor, because they will do an endoscopy, see andar se ki if there's a fracture or why is there bleeding, what vessels are involved, etc. So yeah, what we do from our end is, first that's endoscopy is done. We see where is the problem, if it's in the septum, which artery is involved. Then after that there is a OPD procedure, office procedure called cauterization. So basically it's like current deke we just seal the bleed. So that's easily done. And if it's too much, then we start evaluating. We see कि underlying क्या problem है patient को, if they have any bleeding disorder, if there's hypertension, we have to treat those comorbidities, underlying factors, because what happens many times is that there will be a systemic cause. Systemic cause means another problem which the person has, and the manifestation is nosebleed. So something is getting hidden which we are not treating. So that workup is required to see what's the problem. And then we have surgeries also. There are some arteries which are the ones bleeding there. So we take the patient to OT and we ligate the artery. That's also done. So yeah, but epistaxis is one of very very commonly faced ENT emergencies. And now that I'm in nose unit, that's what I'm seeing every day.
हाँ, and एक और एक myth bust कर दो कि like पहले जब हम छोटे थे, so people used to say कि nose bleeding हो रही है, जो स्कूल में हो जाती थी किसी को, गर्मी बहुत है बाहर, उसके कारण. So is it true? ये कोई connection है body temperature का with the bleeding?
No. There's no connection like that. Nosebleed, usually it's trauma, or there can be bleeding problems, or hypertension is a very common cause. Otherwise, environmental factors wise, so there's nothing like that.
Okay. अब जब वो एयरपोर्ट पे वो बंदा जिसको एपिस्टैक्सिस हो गया था, मैंने सोचा क्या ही करना, मैं फार्मेसी चला गया एंड फार्मेसी में मुझे ईयरबड्स दिखे. ठीक है. तो मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है आपसे कि ये ईयरबड्स क्लीनिंग के लिए सेफ होते हैं क्या, लाइक ईयर वैक्स निकालने के लिए, या क्या करना चाहिए अकॉर्डिंग टू एनी ENT स्पेशलिस्ट?
Okay, so एक चीज़ I would like to say, earbuds are definitely not your ears bud. And I feel it can be used for anything and everything except cleaning your ears. Like मेरे makeup kit में होगा, lens box में होगा, it's really useful item, but not for cleaning your ears.
Nail polish को भी remove करने के लिए acetone में डाल.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is when you are using earbuds, you are actually pushing the wax inside. So we have a canal in our ear. It's called the external auditory canal, and that has some pilosebaceous glands. So they secrete, and serum and secreting glands. So they secrete wax. And usually for everyone there is a normal mechanism. This wax will on its own clear out. You don't need to use earbuds. But there are people who have narrow canal, like mine. So the wax gets impacted there, it doesn't come out. So they tend to use earbuds. But what happens is that if you use earbuds, you're actually irritating the skin also of the external auditory canal, and that can cause itching. And if you use the earbud to itch, you're very likely to pierce the tympanic membrane, and that's a big problem. Then discharge and all will start. You'll have decreased hearing and all. So इसलिए we always tell them not to use earbuds. If there's a lot of impacted wax at home, you can use Solivax. These are like easily available, or D-Wax drops. Basically it's oil, it's turpentine oil, so that helps to like liquefy the solid hard wax, and वो अपने आप बाहर आ जाएगा. You can just wipe it off. Otherwise you can come to us, we'll do it in the OPD. Just suction it out, simple procedure, and it's more hygienic also. Earbuds तो बिल्कुल नहीं, like it's a no, but it's really hard to explain this because it is there in the market. The name is earbud, like it is
marketing बहुत अच्छी
है. So yeah.
Okay, nice to know. And now let's move on to the throat, मेरा favorite part. ठीक है. And tonsillitis, मेरे को बचपन में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती थी यार. मैं मतलब like मेरे को 2 या 3 एपिसोड साल के तो होते ही होते थे, एंड बिल्कुल मैं इतने दर्द में होता था, एंड लाइक मॉम डैड दोनों डॉक्टर होने के बाद भी संभाल नहीं पाते थे. मैं तो सर्जरी करवा ली थी, और मेरे को सर्जरी कराना पसंद नहीं था उस टाइम पे. मतलब पसंद है, मतलब करना भी करवाना, ठीक है. बट उस टाइम पे लाइक एक घूस दी थी मुझे कि आइसक्रीम खाने को बहुत मिलेगी सर्जरी के बाद, तो मैंने उस चक्कर में सर्जरी करा ली. बट लाइक इट हैज बीन गुड सिंस देन. व्हाट इज टॉन्सिलाइटिस, व्हाट आर द साइंस एंड सिम्पटम्स ऑफ टॉन्सिलाइटिस, किसको सर्जरी करानी चाहिए टॉन्सिलाइटिस की?
Okay. So tonsils are basically lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs means that they help to fight against any infection in the body. It's a defense organ. So it's very, very likely for it to get inflamed or affected, because it is actually a first line barrier also for all the bacteria which can infect the upper airway and the alimentary tract also. So I get a lot of patients, and most of them are like younger age group for tonsillitis. You'll have a lot of throat pain. That's the thing which brings them to the hospital. Throat pain, difficulty in swallowing, fever, and there'll be nausea, malaise, generalized weakness. They'll be really sick, and they might get dehydrated because pani bhi nahi pee sakte. It's that painful. and once they open their mouth, there you have the diagnosis. The tonsils will be inflamed, large. There are like 4 grades of tonsillitis. 4th one is the kissing tonsils, where both of them just touch each other, and there might be pus points or
Membranes also.
white membrane when there's a lot of infection. So what we do is we start antibiotics, and we also take a throat swab from there to like see which bacteria specifically it is, but we never wait. We start the antibiotics, and then if the patient is dehydrated, तो fluids चढ़ाते हैं and painkillers, and rest is just symptomatic management, like betadine mouth gargles can be done, and yeah. Specifically, there is no other intervention. It's just to manage the symptoms and antibiotics for the infection. Surgery, we don't recommend anyone who has tonsillitis just to get operated, because after all, it is a defense organ. It is going to be helpful. It's only in recurrent cases of tonsillitis that we do the surgery. It's if a person is having more than 6 episodes in a year, then we do the surgery. I'm not sure about the number. I have it in my.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think it's 3 episodes in 3 years.
3 episodes consecutive in 3 years, and 2 in 4 years. Something like that.
4 episodes in 2 years.
4 in 2 years.
And 5 episodes in 1 year. 5, 4, 3,
5, 4,
1, 2, 3 ऐसे कुछ है.
Correct.
शायद यही है.
Yeah, I'll change that.
Yeah, सब edit हो जाएगा.
Well, how many? It's 5 episodes in 1 year. Okay. Surgery, I'll tell. So surgery is only when you have recurrent cases of tonsillitis, like you're having the symptoms again and again in a year. And we say if it's more than 5 episodes in 1 year, or more than 4 episodes in 2 consecutive years, or more than 3 episodes in 3 consecutive years. So yeah.
मैं third category वाला था.
And that's true. उसके बाद the doctor is like, you should have ice cream, cold fluids for the inflammation to subside. So that's true. That should be done.
And tonsillitis का भाई adenoids है. And मेरे को एक चीज़ बताओ, एक typical चेहरा होता है जिसको adenoid facies बोलते हैं. ये क्यों हो जाता है?
So what happens is that adenoids they cause nasal obstruction once they are enlarged. तो उस वजह से there's a lot of mouth breathing happening. The child won't be able to breathe through the nose. Mouth breathing will happen. Unknowingly also it will happen. So in that case there will be like crowding of teeth will happen. सामने के जो दांत है बहुत ज़्यादा crowded हो जाएंगे because of this mouth breathing. Then the palate, it will get high arched, and like they have a characteristic flared up nose, and the eyes will be slightly bulging. Sometimes it's called as frog face.
अच्छा, ये so जो normally लोग mouth breathing करते हैं, उनको भी क्या ऐसे इश्यूज adulthood में like उनके facial changes आ सकते हैं क्या?
It is likely, but more than facial changes, I would say mouth breathing causes sore throat. Like dryness of the throat, especially if the environment is dry, and it can also cause sometimes hoarseness of voice. This can then cause hoarseness of voice, some change in voice, cracking of voice. And that's like a very common cause of sore throat. People won't know that they have nose block, and they'll be just unknowingly breathing from mouth, and then they'll have throat infections, sore throat, and yeah.
Okay. Sore throat के क्या common causes होते हैं?
एक तो tonsillitis. One is generalized infection, like the normal bacterial infection of the throat. Then sometimes in allergy, there's like nasal obstruction, and there'll be allergy. And even if there's no nasal obstruction, just if there's allergy, there'll be a lot of nasal discharge, mucus जो होता है, and that mucus will drip down into your throat. That's called PND, post nasal drip, and that causes a lot of irritation in the throat, and that also causes sore throat. Then another cause is GERD, reflux, GERD problem. That's gastroesophageal reflux disease. The acid in the stomach will come up when you are burping, or if you're sleeping in the night, that can happen. Just after eating food, that acid comes up, and that causes cough, persistent cough, and irritation of throat, sore throat. Yeah, and sometimes external irritants like smoking or stuff like that.
And hoarseness of voice, यानी कि आवाज में जो change आ जाता है, इसके क्या common causes होते हैं?
गला बैठ गया टाइप.
हाँ, क्या?
गला बैठ गया टाइप.
हाँ, गला बैठ गया जैसे हाँ.
हाँ, तो hoarseness, I would say the most common thing which causes hoarseness of voice is speaking too much.
Okay.
Like we have We have voice abuse, overuse, misuse.
हाँ.
So overuse is you talk a lot in your own way, your own voice. You're not doing mimicry, so it's not strained, but still it's too much of use of your vocal cords, the cords which vibrate. That could be a cause. Misuse is when you try to one second. Abuse, we'll go to abuse. Then abuse is when you are speaking too loudly, screaming, when your amplitude of the voice increases. And misuse is when you are trying to speak in a different voice, like those who do mimicry or comedians. Basically, you're changing the pitch of your voice, so that strains the cords a lot. So these are a few things from patient side. Other things are anatomical. So जो vocal cords हैं, because of all these factors, there can be polyps or nodules or small growths over it. That causes persistent hoarseness of voice. And like for those things, we usually advise the patient to follow voice rest. साथ में we sometimes if there is edema in these vocal cords, we can start on steroids. Otherwise, if it's like a big growth, then we have to remove it surgically. So yeah.
And एक बहुत कॉमन सी चीज़ होती है, जैसे बच्चे जो होते हैं, ठीक है, वो ये कुछ खा लेते हैं एंड कभी अटक जाता है मुंह में. तो फॉरेन बॉडी इंजेक्शन के केसेस में क्या करना चाहिए एज एन अटेंडेंट एंड ऑल्सो एज अ डॉक्टर?
राइट. So at home, if there's foreign body ingestion, it's a very common thing to do, and it's also right to do. Try to eat soft food like banana or rice and try to swallow it in. But you should never induce vomiting. Like zabardasti nahi karna, or don't try to cough it out, because sometimes if it's a sharp object like fish bone, very common, that can like pierce and cause more trauma to the surrounding tissues. So that should not be done, and then they should immediately come to the hospital. We do an X-ray to see where exactly it is. If we cannot figure out in the oral cavity, then we do an X-ray and check. And sometimes a CT scan can also be done to exactly find out where it is. And then you have to just, if it's visible, like if it's in the tonsil or if it's in something called as a piriform fossa, एक pouch सा होता है, if it's visible, then we remove it with forceps. Otherwise, you have to take to OT.
Okay.
That's like our emergency case.
Okay, and how was life in OT, and why did you take ENT?
Okay, nice question. I was really confused. Throughout UG undergrad, I wanted to do medicine. Okay. And I was really particular. I was like endocrinology in medicine. Then in final year comes, you see those books, Davison Harrison, and you realize this is not what I want. I can't do this. And then in internship, I had a really good ENT posting. And also my surgical postings were nice, I would say. My surgery was good, ortho was good, so I got good OT exposure. That's when I realized that I like this. And then I wanted like a kind of end branch, not totally end, but can't do too much, too many specializations, too many exams. So I feel like it's like a perfect mix. You have medical and surgical here. You can do either of them, whichever you like. The scope laga. And also ear, nose, throat are 3 things.
कौन सा स्कोप लगा? वीडियो ला रहे हैं?
नाइस वन. स्कोप्स तो बहुत यूज करते हैं. and you have ear, nose, throat, so you will never get bored. If you want to like pursue one, you can do that also later. तो yeah, some variety.
हाँ, इसमें variety तो बहुत
है. हाँ.
And department is also not toxic.
Yes.
Which is very good.
Yeah, here the department is really cute. It's just the 6 of us. Like each batch has 6. So I feel it's a small family, close net, so it feels nice. Too many people.
Interdependent एक दूसरे. हाँ. Sorry, मैं आई पे चला गया.
Yeah, we're like okay, ear, okay, unit 1, nose, unit 2. It's like we do things for each other, so it's good. And here we have head and neck also, so that exposure is nice.
हेड एंड नेक सर्जरी जो होती है, उसमें से ENT कौन सा संभालता है, डेंटल वाले ओरल मैक्सिलोफेशियल सर्जन्स कौन से संभालते हैं, एंड न्यूरोसर्जन कौन सा केस संभालता है? इसमें कैसे डिस्टिंक्शन होता है?
Yeah. So ENT does a lot of intra-op assistance and requires also intra-op assistance. I'll tell you a common one is ophthal. When we do endoscopic dacrocystorhinostomy, so there, we have our tear gland here, and then there's this duct of like the glands which opens up somewhere near the nose, and sometimes because of this obstruction, there will be excessive tearing out. So in that case, the approach is through the nose, but then after our surgery is done, we need something called a syringing to be done by the ophthalmologist. So we call them, they check if it's okay, if the duct is patent now. Then oromaxillofacial also we ask for intra-op assistance if there is any like tooth procedure involved. Like sometimes some malignancy cases there would be the cause might be in the tooth inside, so we remove it ourselves. But if we are not able to, if we feel that there is some depth is involved, some nerve might get damaged, so if we don't want to maneuver much, we call them, we ask them to have a look. Neurosurgery is called when our approach through nose surgery for sinuses goes very very up, because we have something called as a cribriform plate that might get damaged, and if it does,
CSF
then
rhinorrhea.
there'll be CSF rhinorrhea. So in that, and they also actually call us sometimes, so for that there'll have to be a repair procedure for the CSF rhinorrhea, where we take a flap from the fascia lata that comes on the side of the leg, and then we use it to close there. So for that, neurosurgery they actually call us for that. And we also call them if we feel that our surgery is going too high up and the dura is seen, because we don't want like meningitis to happen in ear surgeries when we are doing a surgery called subtotal petrosectomy. So in that case, if we feel that we are drilling the bone and if we're going too higher up and if the dura comes, that's where we stop. So sometimes we call the neurosurgeons to like pull up the dura so that we can operate later.
And आप लोग neck तक कौन से level तक surgeries करते हो?
हाँ, so that actually depends on the faculty also. Some faculty who have extra fellowships, they go ahead and do all, but for us, head and neck involves like the thyroid gland and all the lymph nodes and the trachea till the upper part till carina we see. Uske below we always like if there's bronchoscopy for post carina we call the pulmonologist. Otherwise bronchoscopy also we do till there, and all the lymph nodes in the neck. Yeah, we look at those.
Neck dissections.
Neck dissection, basically all of them. Also for after oncosurgeries, when there are flaps to be taken, so plastics can do that, but some of our faculty do it on their own.
I was coming to this only ki after taking ENT, if you can do specialization in plastics,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So can you go into cosmetics via the ENT route?
You can. That's actually a very upcoming thing. So in our ENT postings of 3 years, we have 2 specialty postings: neurosurgery and plastic surgery. So 1 second.
You want more water?
I'll come back from beginning. It was
Yeah. There were 2 branches.
Yeah. So in the 3 years of ENT posting here, we have 2 specialized postings. One is in neurosurgery, the other is in plastics. That is because later on, after finishing ENT, you can pursue these 2 by giving the MCH exam. It's not just that after general surgery you can do, even after ENT you can do. So yeah, that's possible what you asked if you take up plastic surgery. But even if you don't want to do MCH of plastic surgery after ENT, just a fellowship in that is enough. Just a fellowship, and then you can start with your own practice of facial cosmetics.
So facial reconstruction, facial cosmetics, and even lip fillers, ये सब कुछ.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
This is so much better than taking the general surgery wala part.
I know, yeah. And then if you do plastic surgery as such, then you can like do even other things like liposuction, etc. All those. So
if you ये भी question था. तो अगर
it's
आपने
not just the face.
ENT की में plastics कर ली, तो मैं यहाँ के और यहाँ का भी liposuction
कर सकते हो.
इंडिया बहुत बढ़िया जगह
I
है.
know.
So now we'll move on to the guess the diagnosis वाला part. Okay, so ये क्या चल रहा है पहले, ये क्या कर रहे हैं हम पेशेंट के साथ
जो इतना सिर चेंजेस कर रहे हैं, राइट? So this is called the Epley's maneuver.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, Epley's maneuver. This is like again a office OPD procedure. This we do for patients who have BPPV, that's benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. Basically vertigo. What happens is that if you have a lot of giddiness with sudden postural changes lasting for 1 to 2 minutes, it means you have some problem in your inner ear, where you have the semicircular canals, the utricle, the saccule. There are some crystals in these organs inside your ear, and when they get dislodged from their original position, these symptoms can start. So we do give medication for this, but it's very convenient for us just to maneuver the head in a way and bring the crystals back to the respective canals. So this is Epley's maneuver. It takes about like 5-10 minutes to do, and after the patient is asked to rest for half an hour, and then we give some post Epley's care, we teach them some things, and then
जो लाइक मेरे को एक पीजी नहीं थे, मेरे को एक सर ने सब सिखाया था, एक बहुत अच्छी एनालॉजी दी थी जिससे ना नॉर्मल जिनको मेडिकल टर्म्स नहीं समझ आ रही थी, जैसे कि सेमी सर्कल फिलहाल या क्रिस्टल्स वाली, हैव यू सीन दैट गेम जिसमें लाइक एक मेज होती है एंड बॉल होती है एंड आपको ऐसे टिल्ट करना पड़ता है ताकि आप बॉल को सेंटर में ले आओ बेसिकली. तो यहाँ पर भी एक मेज बनी हुई है जो 90 डिग्रीज पे है, एंड वो जो क्रिस्टल्स है वो एक तरह से लाइक बॉल्स की तरह है, एंड हम मुंह को बाहर से ऐसे
That is exactly what it is. Very nicely said.
हाँ, ये एनालॉजी से मेरे को सर ने समझाया था, एंड
that's so true.
फिर आप आराम से एक्सप्लेन भी कर पाते हो.
Because it's like to break the word to crystals, because initially I used to be like, okay, what word should I use, and I started saying crystals, but yeah, this sounds better.
मैम ये सेकंड इमेज में ये नाक के अंदर ये बॉल क्या है?
These are nasal polyps.
हाँ.
So nasal polyps, mainly the patient will come to us with complaints of obstruction, because there is something inside the nose that is obstructing the airway, so there will be obstruction. And we have two types of polyps. One is called the antrochoanal polyp. Antrochoanal means starting from the maxillary antrum. Maxillary sinus is one of the sinuses present on this side, and uska opening in the nose is called the maxillary antrum, the maxillary ostium. So from there you have a polyp coming out, and it can either go posteriorly, or it might not always go, but it usually goes posteriorly and reaches up to the choana. And that's why the word antrochoanal, and it is usually unilateral only, but if it's going very very posteriorly पीछे, then it can cause both sides nasal obstruction. And ये हमेशा नहीं दिखेगा सामने से on examination because it falls back, so we do endoscopy. The other is ethmoidal polyps. So ethmoidal polyps start from the ethmoidal sinus, and because there are multiple openings, it is like a grape-like polyp. Too many are there, not a single one, but yeah, these usually occur because of some theories are there, air wave theories are there, which can cause these mucoidal polypoidal tissues to come out of the sinuses. And इनके लिए, so it's basically a foreign body only in the nose. I mean, it's coming from the nose, but it is not supposed to be there. So we have to remove it. So first we give steroids. If with steroids it comes down, then fine. Otherwise, you have to take in and operate and remove it.
आपको ऑस्की में 515 मिल गया.
Thank you, sir.
And hopefully with this conversation आपके कान, नाक and आपका मुंह खुल गया होगा. Sushi Talks will be airing soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.